So sort of kind of taking the highs and the lows and appreciating where you are. You mentioned nature, which I think is something that is there for us all to quiet our minds. I know that when I go out, take a walk around the block and look at the beautiful trees and the sky and the weather, and I'm with my dog, I seem to get the best ideas. And I never intend on getting these ideas, but I think that's when my mind is relaxed to get that inner intuition and listen to that inner voice that's kind of guiding me toward what I should be doing next. The other thing I learned was, and it was through coaching, taking the time to make a plan. And that time might just be 15 minutes to sit down with a piece of paper and write down, okay, what are a couple things, what are some things I want to do for the year? What are some things I want to do for the next quarter? What's something that I want to do this month? And making it fun. I would draw, a picture of myself or something in the middle and just little circles around me on things that I want to do. And the funny thing is that when I do that, I look back at it, let's say the next month, and I find that I've done those things. And it just kind of goes into your self-conscious. And when I also learned to I take a little, just a tiny postcard-sized piece of paper. I might write 2 or 3 things down that I want to get done for the day. Even things like that, and checking it off. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm progressing and I'm kind of focused on what I want to do with my life and with my day and with, my month. And it's very simple, but I think sometimes, like you said, we get so caught up with our work that we don't even take the 10 minutes to stop and plan a little.
One of the reasons why that walk feels so good and you're able to come up with ideas, or when you write stuff down, you're able to feel good about it, is because we have, on average, 70,000 thoughts per day as human beings. And only a certain amount of those thoughts are going to get through our conscious filter into the subconscious mind. And we create stuff that goes into the subconscious. So that's 70,000 thoughts per day, which 90% of those thoughts are coming from external sources. TV, radio, people, all this stuff, we're being bombarded. So that thing that you want to happen, or you like, that thought that that you're searching for, it's competing with all of that. And only a selective few are going to get through that conscious filter into the subconscious mind and help you to create it. So that walk, enjoying nature, is getting rid of that 70,000. The majority of that 70,000 is fighting for your focus. And you're able to focus on what it is that you want, then you can hear the subconscious. You can tap into it. Or writing it down. By writing it down, you're consciously blocking out the other stuff, the noise. And that stuff is actually going to your subconscious, into the spirit, which then feels great. Like, I can feel it. I can see it. I feel successful. I have movement.
Sir Bob does talk a lot about evolving from his own difficult experiences. And you also talked about hopelessness and getting to a point where you feel disconnected from people. And people do suffer from depression, which oftentimes, even if you're depressed and you're surrounded by family and friends that love you, you still feel disconnected. In fact, it's hard to even feel during depression. What sort of advice would you give to somebody when they're at their lowest point, just to get to the next step up?
The pet detective, what's his name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey had a perspective on this that was amazing, dead on. And he was saying that depression is really when basically that ego that originally jumped in to solve an issue, but it never really had the issues to solve, like I talked about earlier, doesn't really solve it. We become this facade, this character, that we invest all this time and energy into how we look and how people perceive us and how we want to, but it's not real. And then after a while, we get tired of this facade because who we really are, we feel like we're smothering it. We're not expressing that. So he was saying that depression, being depressed, is a deep rest. Deep rest. So that's why people that are depressed will sleep. They don't want to do anything because in a way they're going, I don't want this character anymore. I want to be someone different. I don't want this facade. So if I had to say one thing that they can do is to find gratitude and appreciation, just one little bit about life, about where they're at. You don't have to solve everything, but find some degree of gratitude and appreciation, because appreciation is love in its smallest and most concentrated form. And the more you appreciate something, the more you'll like it. First of all, you'll feel relief. Then, you keep doing it, you'll learn to like it. And if you keep doing it, you'll learn to love it. And if you keep doing it, you'll fall in love with it. And so it's little incremental steps. But it starts with finding appreciation. You know what? Maybe you're not the old you used to be. Maybe you're not able to be out there having fun and being healthy and working out. But you're alive. Mm-hmm. You're alive. There's lots of people right now that would kill to be in your shoes. There's people, the babies and children and old people. Start with that.
Well, you did mention something called deep rest.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes depressed people do feel so tired and they don't want to do anything but stay in bed, which brings me to the topic of burnout. I find that musicians, even when they're doing something they love, if they're doing too much of it, or if they don't take a break, or if they're on this high adrenaline for so long, your body ends up just shutting down. Mm-hmm. And burnout is a real thing, and depression can be a result of burnout. Yeah. What are some of the things that you could suggest for people to try and prevent burnout?
One of the things that people can do to prevent burnout is to implement a regimen of self-care and just have awareness of it and take it. I love that Sir Bob said the people that are managing musicians just want to make money. So they will drive you into the ground and then toss you aside when they're done with you. So you have to have the foresight to say, I'm going to incorporate some self-care. I'm going to take some days off. I have to have this because I can't perform at my highest level. And, we all in our society are working really hard and moving really fast, and we'll take on a million things. And I love that he said the word no. You have to say no. You have to be able to say, no, I can't do this. No, I'm tired. No, I need to rest. And really taking care of yourself and having that as part of your schedule, getting sleep. I know musicians have a hard time coming off of that high energy, so it's hard for them to sleep. So learning to meditate, creating the sleep that they want. There's actually a way to do that. And again, most people don't understand how their minds work and their energy and their bodies work, so they don't know how to do these things. And when it comes to people actually getting burned out and being depressed, what happens when we're sleeping? Our body repairs itself. Our mind's repairing itself. I really don't understand why people say people sleeping is a bad thing. Oh, you're sleeping all the time. I have been awake for a long time and fighting for a long time. Your body's helping you to repair itself. And you have to make self-care a priority. And that means stepping away from what you're doing, having other interests, reading books, learning about yourself. Like, that's self-care. We just went to a conference and I loved this. We went to a seminar with this lovely lady from the movie The Secret. Her name is Lisa Nichols, and she has this analogy that you have to fill up your own love cup. So look at yourself like a cup with a saucer. You have to pour so much love into that cup that it spills over to the saucer, and then you serve others from the saucer, not the cup. Because if you serve from the cup, you're going to deplete the cup. And that's what's happening to us. We're giving, and we're not replenishing. You have to have replenishing built into your lifestyle, no matter what your lifestyle is. Whether you're a mom, a musician, a CEO, it doesn't matter. Any of us that do not fill our cup are going to crash and burn. So you have to figure out What are the things that make your cup feel full? What is it that you need to do for yourself to fill your love cup? And it's different for everyone. And so I love helping people discover what that is for them. It's amazing.
Well, saying no is a good way to create boundaries
Yes.
and kind of standing your ground.
Mm-hmm.
I found that when people say no to me and they give me an explanation, I really appreciate that. And I respect when they say no.
Yeah.
So I think people need to remember that people will respect you when you say no. Some people will have a little hissy fit,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to kind of stand your ground and allow them to do that. But know that if you're changing and you're becoming a better person and you're starting to create boundaries, the people that you didn't have boundaries with before are going to maybe be a little uncomfortable with the change.
Absolutely.
But being kind of steadfast in evolving and allowing them to get used to this new person.
Right. You know, I agree 100%. To me, I'm going to always go back to, because it always goes back to that connection within, that internal guidance system. It knows what's best for you. It knows what's not best for you. And the key is to learn to listen to that. Not the ego. You have to learn to distinguish between what's the ego and what's the
Spirit.
my spirit. Because the ego could trick you and pretend to be spiritual. But your higher self, like I said, it looks at everything through certain perspectives. One of the things about me that really frustrates a lot of people is that I follow my internal guidance system, whether people like it or not. And trust me, I piss a lot of people off sometimes. But I've learned that when I follow that internal guidance system, things work out well. If not in the short term, it works out well in the long term. I have faith in it. And it keeps me in alignment. Most of the time, when I listen to other people and do it their way, it doesn't work out well. And then I go, damn it, why did I listen to my higher spirit in the first place? So I've learned to not ignore it and listen and have faith. And because of that, I'm in alignment. Now, I am not responsible for anyone else's alignment except my own. So if somebody gets pissed off with me, they're out of alignment. That's their frequency. That's their vibration. I'm not responsible for that. If somebody does something I don't like that they tell me no, I stay in alignment. I may not want to hear that, like, okay, hey, but that's they're following the internal guidance system. Okay, let me keep it moving. I don't take it personally because I'm aware of that. I'm a conscious creator. So if other people are upset, that's on them. The people that love me, the people that are in alignment, they're going to get it. Mm-hmm. And those are actually the people I want to be around. Those are the people that I want to attract. I don't want to have to convince you to be around. I don't want to have to be someone I'm not to be. And that's the beauty of, especially as an artist. The more authentic an artist is, the more he's going to tap into that creativity.
Right.
And then the less depressed they're going to feel.
Yes.
You know, just really quickly, also saying no is part of self-love. Because think about it. Would you stand up for someone who didn't want something outside of yourself? A friend, a family member? If you knew they didn't want something, you'd say, no, don't do that to them. They don't want that. They don't like that. But for some reason, we've learned to be people pleasers and we won't do it for ourselves. So I always tell my clients, you say no and you speak your truth. Speak your truth. You speak your truth for you because you are standing up for yourself and you are loving yourself in the best way by speaking your truth. And it is not to convert people. It's not to convince them or to manipulate them. It is for you. And that starts to fill that love cup because you are looking out for you. You are your own advocate and you are not a victim in this life. And the only person that's going to save you is you. So you have to be the number one person that speaks your truth for you. And it does not matter what other people think because they have their own agendas. They're not looking out for your truth. It's for you.
Right. And that's what makes a great leader.
Yes.
If you're able to do that, whether you're introvert or extrovert, quote unquote, that's what that resonates with people. Now, people that are so far out of alignment that doesn't resonate with them, there's some people that you just can't reach no matter what you do. There's nothing you can say and do. But most people are looking for that answer. They're looking for that connection. and they can't find it within themselves. So when you're being that, it comes across. That's when people around you are like, something about him. I want to be around this,
I want to be like that.
that person is tapping into their connection, and it's affecting your connection and waking your connection up. And it's like, even if I don't really understand what's going on here, there's something good here. My spirit's telling me. And that's why people will follow you if you can do it from that place. We do events all the time, and whether it's a big corporate event or, we're billionaires, it doesn't matter. I can get on that stage and I connect the spirit and I say whatever comes out. I'm going to say some shit that might be very politically incorrect. I'm going to do whatever. But because it's from my higher self, they feel it and they love it. And it wakes up their higher selves. Yeah. And all of a sudden, everybody's in the same vibration and frequency.
Just like music.
Right. Just like music. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you have to be vulnerable to do that in order to tap into your higher self. You can't care about what other people think. Because once you start thinking, you break off that connection.
That brings me to the question about the difference between a therapist and a life coach. And I've been to a therapist and I've also been to a life coach, but I wanted you to kind of explain to people what the difference is and, what to expect if they decide to get into any kind of coaching.
You know what? There are different types of life coaches, and our brand of life coaching, we teach people conscious creation. We are very interested in law of attraction, brain science, quantum physics. We're really loving and supporting people and empowering them to use their thoughts and their emotions and their minds to attract what they want to attract in their lives and to create the lives that they want. And we are vulnerable. We share our pain, our struggle. I've been depressed. One of the reasons I got into personal growth and life coaching was I went through a lot of pain and struggle in my life. And I was in a really dark place, and I just started asking my spirit, how do I get out of this? And I started attracting the things that I needed, and I learned about myself and how my energy worked and how my mind worked. And then I just wanted to share it with other people because it's like, this is a way to get out of that, right? And I was so excited about it. So because we open ourselves up and we share our experience and we have so many different perspectives to help people, that's what we do as life coaches. Therapists don't tend to do that. Therapists have some really strict guidelines. They actually don't give advice. They just ask you questions. You're supposed to kind of figure it out for yourself. They're not allowed to share anything personal about themselves. So there's kind of a feeling like they're on this, they're above you and they're just kind of watching you and you're taking in the information and you're just kind of sharing it. But in what we do, and I love this, we literally love our clients. Our clients are family. They're our friends. We have clients having babies right now. Like we're getting ready to go visit we're doing the baby tour to visit all these wonderful babies that our clients are having. And life coaches are here to guide you through the challenges that you're going to have for your life. And you have to understand there's no getting it done. You're never going to get to the place where you wake up one day and you're like, I have it all figured out. And nothing's ever going to hurt me or make me sad. But I'm going to learn through life coaching how to manage those highs and lows. I'm going to have processes I can use to manage my energy, to attract what I want, to show up as my best self, to continue to grow into who I want to be and not live life by default. So that's our brand of life coaching. I can't speak to all life coaches because some life coaches are just going to give you goals and say, kind of push you and hold you accountable to those goals. But we're more about empowering people. We don't want to keep them forever. We want to give them tools. Go use the tools. Come back to us when you need us. The next time you feel like you need some more new tools. And we just love and support people.
We've helped so many people attract things that they desperately wanted in life and
didn't think they
could have it. And we showed them how to have it, whether it's happiness, whether it's a partner, whether it's more success, financial or whatever it is. We're very honored. We know that this is our purpose in life. One of
guides.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do? I know musicians often can have mood disorders, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and so many different things which are part of life. But what if someone comes up to a musician, someone comes up to you and says they need help?
I think it starts with sometimes people just need someone to listen. It starts with that. You don't have to solve anything for them, but sometimes just someone that they can have a sounding board, just someone they can just talk to. That's the first step.
You know, I'm always going to go back to love because love is the most powerful energy in the universe. And sometimes just saying, I hear you, I'm here for you, and I love you, and I'm going to hold space for you. Like, you know, you're going to get through this. I may not know how, but I'm here and I will sit with you. I will cry with you. I will go through it with you because I love you. You're really loved by me. And just knowing that you're loved sometimes is enough to help you to go, okay, I'll have the energy to keep going forward. We can't solve everyone's problems. Everyone can't solve their own problems sometimes, right? But just knowing that you're not alone and that you're being heard and that what you're going through is not being diminished. It's real. It's real to you. And there's someone that's willing to go through it with you and help you discover what you need to discover to get to the other side of it.
Thank you so much, Melanie, and thank you, Anthony Clark.
Thank you.
Anthony and Melanie Clark, certified life coaches, The Amazing Clarks. And the website is theamazingclarks.com.
Amazingclarks.com.
And thank you again to Sir Bob Cornelius Rifo of the Bloody Beetroots for sharing his story. We're going to close out with another one of his new songs. And until next time, be persistent in getting the help that you need, help others in need, and speak your truth on mental health. Check Your Head is kindly supported by Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, Lemon Tree Studios in Los Angeles, and other kind donors and sponsors. Visit checkyourheadpodcast.com where you'll find more resources for mental health. And please subscribe to our podcast, especially on our Patreon page, where we've got all kinds of gifts and goodies for you. Also, find us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.